as I continue that attempt to play catch up with the various figures and other toys that I've not made videos on, but have owned for a while, we're finally taking a look at the original 1993 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord. I did actually used to own this set back in the day, and sold it at some point, probably around high school, going into college, something like that, and always missed it, and then was able to finally get this set at New York Comic Con a couple of years back, and that's love the set. I do have repro labels on this set. I actually took off all the old labels, and some of the old labels that the set came with were pretty rough or missing, so yeah, did that, put on the repro labels, and now it's less Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and more G-Ranger in terms of the deco. Mostly, like, you don't have the corny lightning bolts and stuff like that in a few places, but by and large, it's mostly the same thing. But you get some extra detail too with the repro label stickers. Point is, finally taking a look at this, and it's something that it took me a while to admit this to myself, but I got the Zap Megazord first before reacquiring this, and I thought, the Zap Megazord is really cool. I like the Zap Megazord, but it just didn't quite. It wasn't quite as fulfilling as I guess I was expecting it to be, or hoping it would be. And I realized that's because I didn't really want the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Dino Megazord with more articulation. I just wanted the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Dino Megazord again. That's it. I just wanted this. So after getting this in hand is actually, I can't say I fell out of love with the Zap Megazord, but like I'm less blown away by it because I just really like this. It's not a question about like materials and sturdiness versus cheapness. I still think people are being ridiculous when they talk about the Zap Megazord being cheap, but it's just, this is the toy I used to own. Pardon. And that's like, I wanted it because of nostalgia. It was nostalgia specifically that was drawing me to the Zap Megazord, not the added articulation, not the added detail. And of course, it's not going to scratch that itch because it's not the same toy. I like this one because, it doesn't have anywhere near the same level of articulation, but it's just got this satisfying, chunkiness to it, and things click together really solidly, and it's just a frickin' brick, and I love it for that. So, let's just go on through the team here. I do have the sword, but we're going to be taking a look at that in Megazord mode. So here we've got the Pterodactyl, which is really a Pteranodon, and it's, it is what it is. It's a chest plate with wings and a, little beaky head on it. I do like the guns being used as feet, and around back we've got the repro label set adds some added, extra stickers in there, and it's just it's silly, but it gets the job done, and of course it's accurate to the source material in as much as it could be, which I appreciate. It's got some decent molded detail to it, a little bit of paint all on the head, but the stickers do help to break a lot of this up too. And I like this. I still just think that Guns' feet is really cute. And I still think it's funny how I owned the original toy for so long and never realized that's what you were supposed to do with these when you went into the Dino mode. So I always just left these off to the side, which is just silly. But yeah, Pterodactyl is cool for what it is. Now, also, I should let you all know I don't have the Zap Megazord available to do comparisons with, so sorry if you want to see that. I'll try to remember to put up a photo of the two Megazord modes side by side when we get to that. I don't know if I will remember or not, but we'll see. But yeah, moving on. I did it wrong. We should have started with the Mastodon. My bad. It's like with the Zap Megazord. I'm trying to do it in the order they call out their their ranger powers / Zords. So the Mastodon is once again just a brick. Unfortunately, due to the age of the toy, like this is pretty wobbly back here. And I tried tightening it up before putting the stickers on, but it really didn't make any kind of difference, so oh well. But it's fine. It's an old toy. I like the Mastodon, though. I like how he's just kind of a brick. Doesn't really have any real noteworthy posability, like you can move the back legs a bit, and that's it. Also, people complaining about the Zap Megazord set being hollow. Wait. Let's zoom in to really get the effect here. Oh, look at that. Hollow legs. Yeah, I will never not be annoyed at people who complain about that stuff when it's like always been such a thing. Like, look at the freaking trunk here. Anyway, this does look, it looks cool. I like the color differential here, how you've got like light gray for the feet, an even lighter gray for the trunk, a darker gray for the head, the black going around and like the shoulders and the rest of the body. And the stickers with the red, yellow, and white and black in a few places really do add a lot. And it just looks really good. The eyes are different than what you normally get with the Megazord, the Mighty Morphin stickers. Like this is supposed to be, I think, like green with the original Mighty Morphin set. But since these are repro labels, you get, boy, that trunk really seems to want to wiggle off when moving it. Anyway, yeah, those eyes are normally like green, but here they're black because I guess more in line with the Sentai. I don't know, but I've always liked the Mastodon, and as you saw, like you can move the trunk up and down if you want. It does do some weird things to that joint, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but it holds. So whatever, maybe the plastic's a little warped. I don't know. Also, the tusks are removable. Kind of, like they are kind of coming out, but it's really, I don't know. I have a difficult time understanding how so many of these sets are missing the Mastodon tusks or the saber-toothed tiger teeth or the Triceratops horns, because like, yeah, they come out, but they don't come out that easily. Whatever. Like this guy. Mastodon, Pterodactyl. Triceratops is next, yes. So, Triceratops is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Triceratops. It's just a tank with a Triceratops head on the end. And you've got the little tail with the missile-y things, and this is way too loose. Like, I think this is just the original toy did this. Like, the original release where, like, it wasn't, 30 years old. Toy did this, where, oh jeez, it is 30 years. Wow. Where this was too loose, so you can't really do the guns arched over like that. You just kind of can do like that, angle them up that way. And you've got Triceratops with the horns that are removable, a little easier to take off than the Mastodon tusks, but still. I did unfortunately have a little mishap with the repro label on the head here. It's hard to see, but there's a little bit of yellowing here. That's because I was really like pressing down and trying to smooth this out when I was putting it on, and that just smeared the yellow ink all over the sticker, which sucks, but whatever. Then you get some added detail up in here, some detail here, some extra bits along the sides here, and yeah, stickers kind of add a little bit more to it. And it's a blue Triceratops. It's a blue Triceratops tank, like it's always been. Saber-toothed tiger, same deal. It's a yellow saber-toothed tiger that looks a little awkward. And again, people complaining about hollowness when like the saber-toothed tiger's whole freaking neck is hollow on both sides. The legs are hollow, the tail is hollow. It's just, everyone likes to complain about stuff without actually looking at how things used to be before opening their mouths. But again, I'm going off track, so sorry about that. Very simple articulation on the saber-toothed tiger. You can kind of move the head up and down. You can move the legs, but they only go forward and back. The tail can move, and oddly, this tail can stay up like that. It's like solid enough, sturdy enough, whereas the Triceratops, as you saw, was just like very floppy. So I do wonder if I can get a screwdriver in there. Will that tighten it up? Hang on a sec. We'll try this. Well, I was going to say we'll do it live, but this isn't live. But we're still going to try it. Let me grab my tiny screwdriver from my desk drawer after perfectly moving the camera around. Okay, so I got a tiny screwdriver. I'm assuming it's Phillips. Yep, that does seem to have locked in. So let's... Oh, no, that screw is as tight as it's going to get. So yeah, no, that's just going to be loose forever. Oh, well. It is what it is. So yeah, Saber-Tooth Tiger looks the part again. You got... These stickers are different than what you get from the Mighty Morphin version. There are some added details in a few places because of the Reaper labels, and I just think that, you know, looks cool. I do prefer the Triceratops of the two leg pieces, but still cool. And then the Tyrannosaurus, that used to be my favorite because, of course, it's Tyrannosaurus. And it's kind of a brick. Not entirely a brick. Like, most of the articulation does come from the T-Rex, but it's still... You're not getting much out of it. Like, you can move the arms, a couple of clicks. You can move the head up and down, and open the mouth. You got a little sticker for a little blasty thing. And this is something I wish the Zap Megazord did. I wish this piece was closed off like it is here, rather than being able to do that and seeing like the Megazord head and forehead and tops of the eyes kind of peeking out from inside the T-Rex mouth. You get some added stickers going along the backs of the legs now to make it look a little bit more red going all the way around. You get events on the back, though I think that was originally there, the original stickers too, but it does add a bit, and I do think that the stickers look nice, and they look way better than the messed up stickers that were originally on this thing, because this thing is, again, like 30 years old. But yeah, for articulation, aside from the upper body, the legs can, in theory, move up and down, but the tail gets in the way, so you have to disconnect the tail. Do that, and move the knees around, you can move the feet, and that is pretty much it. If you push this button, you can move this, if you want to do that, but yeah. And that's it. Looks good, like everyone else. Does the nostalgia thing, which is what I really wanted this set for. And that is enough of that. So let's move on to size comparisons and then keep going from there. So, got the different Zords here. How am I going to do this? I guess we'll just do it like this. So here we've got the different Zords. And we'll bring in a Voyager, see how they measure up there. So, as you might expect, they are pretty big compared to a modern figure. And for a tall deluxe stand-in, there is Opal Prime and our Samus amiibo. So again, pretty big. I believe, again, I don't have the Zap Megazord handy to do the direct comparison there, but I believe these are actually bigger. Yeah, these are definitely bigger, from what I recall, than the Zap Megazord Zords. So they're not like massive in comparison, but they are bigger. They're chunkier, thicker, and depending on how you look at it, that's either a good thing or a bad thing, because it does make things a little bit more awkward proportionally for both the individual modes for a couple of them, like the Saber-Tooth Tiger, and maybe the T-Rex, and definitely the Pterodactyl, but then it's also more awkward for the Megazord mode. But anyway, for our most important size comparisons, here is the T-Rex tank, Mastodon tank, Pterodactyl jet thing, Saber-Tooth Tiger kind of tank, and Triceratops tank with the duck tank. It annoys me so much when I bump the camera when I'm trying to do these transitions, but it happens all the time. Okay, so before we do the transformation thing, real quick, if you like this video or any of the other videos that I've done on the channel and you want to support me, I have both a Patreon and a Ko-fi, so you got your choice of either one if you want to do that. Links to both at the end of the video or down in the description. Otherwise, you could always do the typical YouTube thing of like, comment, share, subscribe. All that, any of that would be much appreciated. So with that out of the way, let us combine. And of course, we got to do the tank mode first. So going to take the Triceratops and flip these guns around, flip this around, flip that in, just like that, leave that like that. The saber-toothed tiger is similar. Flip this around, clip that in, but now we want to take the back legs and flip them up into the body. Rotate the saber teeth up, and then bring the front legs up. And now we have a rolling saber-toothed tiger. Now for the Pterodactyl, going to take off the guns and fold in the wings. And I wonder if it makes a difference to do it like this. Yeah, we'll do it like that, just because it keeps the wing tips held in place a little bit better. So I'm going to do that. For the Mastodon, I'm going to pop the head off, just clips in right here, using these little clips on the side there. And then fold out this little peg here, and that's it for the head. And for the rest of the body, you're going to rotate this back for both of these back legs, split this apart, and then bring these up at a bit of an angle, and leave those like that. And now for the T-Rex, just gonna lift the head up, push the arms up, fold the legs in, and then push the little button on the thigh so that we can angle the legs like this. Or rather, angle the knees like that. And then disconnect the tail, because it's going to be kind of... Oh wait, no, those knees are not up far enough. Let me try and see if that can go in further. Okay, they do go up further. That was my bad. Okay. I thought it seemed a little weird. Okay, so you still do kind of want to disconnect the tail. I guess you don't really have to, but want to do that so that the T-Rex is squatting all weird. And now we connect the saber-toothed tiger. There's these little bits on the inside here that are kind of springy that will go around the T-Rex knees. And those just flip in. Same deal for the Triceratops. And now we've got this going on. I'm going to take Mastodon head, and this will peg into that little peg hole right above the T-Rex chest. Like that. Now, I'm going to take the Mastodon, and this will wrap around the T-Rex upper body, and then these clips on either side here will clip over the post things on the sides of the T-Rex shoulders, as one does. Then we can bring in the guns, and they will just peg into the bottoms of the Mastodon feet. And finally, going to take Pterodactyl, and there are these little tabs on the sides here that tab into these little grooves, the waffling on the insides of the Mastodon feet. That just kind of clicks in like that. And there we have the Dino Megazord tank mode. And I always thought this mode was really silly as a kid. I never really did it much. I mostly did it just because of the fact that it was part of the combination sequence on the show. But I kind of like it now. It's absolutely silly, but I kind of appreciate how it all comes together. And how, you know, it's supposed to be silly, but like it works. It rolls more or less. The Mastodon Head really does not want to stay straight when it's plugged in like this for some reason. But I don't know, I really think this mode is fun. Another thing that I actually think, one of the things I like the most about this version over all of the other versions of the Dino Megazord that I've seen is the way the knees connect. Because it's simply the Tyrannosaurus knees plug into the Triceratops and the Saber-toothed tiger. That's it. There are no connectors you have to flip out. There's no special thing you got to do. You don't have Zord Builder pegs sticking off of the knees like in the Legacy version or anything like that. It's just the knees go into the backs of the other Zords. And that is so simple and functional and satisfying to do and not annoying like it is on everything else. Like, as much as I enjoy the Zap Megazord and the added articulation you get in those knees, I don't like flipping out those combiner pegs. And I just feel like it kind of takes something away from the whole combination when you have to stop everything to do that, when the rest of the combination is so similar to the way it normally goes, you know? That just kind of puts me off a bit. But yeah, this is it's a colorful mess. It's a hodgepodge of animal parts, but I still think it's neat. It's fun. It's silly and fun. And also you can open the T-Rex mouth so that you have the cannons from the inside of the mouth shooting if you want to do that. But with all of that done, I think we can do a quick size comparison with the tank and then move on to the proper Megazord mode. So here we've got our Voyager, our Tall Deluxe, a regular Deluxe, and Samus. So there's how they all come together. Not come together, you know what I mean. That's how they all look together. Also, I probably shouldn't have transformed Burnout for the tank size comparison, but oh well. However, there is one more size comparison I'm going to make that will just require a little bit of prep because I didn't think to do this beforehand, but thankfully I will edit around this part, so hang on a sec. Now, the Dino Megazord is definitely the big nostalgia Megazord for me, but still not my favorite. My favorite continues to be the Mystic Force Titan Megazord. In this particular instance, in its dragon configuration, which that's the whole reason why I wanted to bring this out, because we can have the kind of alternate configuration compared with the alternate configuration. So that is how that all comes together. Again, I'm saying it comes together. That's how it all looks together. Yeah, I love the Titan Megazord. It's still just, no question, my favorite out of the Megazords I've owned. But of course, we still have to do that incredibly important size comparison. So here is the Dino Megazord tank with the duck tank. Now it's time for proper Megazord time. Yeah, so I'm going to take off Pterodactyl and then fold the wings back out so that we can tuck the head in all the way and fold the wings back in. I'm going to pop off the guns from here and pop them onto the back here. And while we're at it, we'll take the tail, hold up the tail tip, and now this will clip over this piece on the back. There we go. Take off Mastodon head. And hang on, gotta get the right angle here. Gotta do the thing. Flip in fists. And stand them up. And also, you want to push those buttons so you can lean those those knees back. Boy, this is going to be difficult to keep in frame. Well, the lower body's done, so we'll move on to the upper body. All right, that done, and bring up the shoulders. Open this up and fold the T-Rex head down and in. Set back up again. Get the chest piece clipped in. And that clips in a couple of places. It kind of, this little bit here goes into this little cavity down here, and then these bits on either side clip in here. So get all that pushed in. And finally, there we go. And there we have the original 1993 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Dino Megazord. And it is a thing of glory. It is awkward. It is a bit of brick. And I have so much fondness for this thing. It's, that light readjusted. It's just so cool. It's one of like the 90s toys, you know? I think they did, like the way this is designed actually kind of sidesteps a lot of issues that other versions of this toy had. Like the Zap Megazord, you had to like slide the T-Rex hips out in order to do the tank mode. You don't have to do that here. And rather than have the T-Rex knees like centered where like that would push like the Triceratops and Saber-tooth tiger too close together, you could see that the knee joint for the T-Rex is actually out to the side a little bit, which is how it's able to connect without the need to like shift the knees from left to right or whatever to get this to work. Once again, there's the problem with this being kind of loose, but it's again an old toy. Yeah, it's a great, solid toy. I love it. It is so nostalgic for me, and I'm just so glad I was able to get a hold of it. I do need to touch up that head crest, which we saw a little bit of a second ago, but yeah, other than that, this thing is so nice. It's a very iconic, for kids who grew up in the 90s anyway, design for a mecha, and I'm here for it. Looks great with the stickers. A lot of the added details that are, the new details that the Reaper Label set adds kind of get lost because of the, everything going on here. Like there are some stickers on the front section of the Triceratops right in here that you don't actually see or here too, where you don't really see them in Megazord mode because they're down in here now. Also, you don't really see much for the backs of the T-Rex thighs because now the feet are folded up and kind of covering that up. Things like that, but that's okay. The labels still add plenty. This thing would look so plain without any stickers, so glad I have some stickers at least. And you can see on the shoulders in particular, this is where you get more of a Daijujin from Zyuranger vibe for the stickers for the Reaper Label set rather than the Dino Megazord from Power Rangers. Because that original Power Rangers figure has like the Mighty Morphin lightning bolts in the shoulders, and I was never really a fan of that. I like this a lot better. And now, let's take a look at the head real quick. It is classic Dino Megazord in terms of the head. The proportions are definitely a bit off, though. It kind of flares out almost a little too much at the bottom, which might be in service of the T-Rex mode, I don't know. But other than that, looks, again, really good. I love the horns. I love the way that like this top section kind of flows all the way down, so it kind of looks like the horns are coming out of this bit above the eyebrows or above the eyes. The head crest, again, it's a shame that it's got so much paint scuffing, but I could touch that up on my own eventually. And yeah, it's just a really nice head sculpt, very classic, very identifiable, and it does absolutely nothing. The head does not move at all. You can wiggle these and that's it. No movement on the head. That is unfortunate, but at the same time, it's a, you know, it's a Super Sentai toy, or it's derived from a Super Sentai toy from, like, oh, when did Ranger come out? Like the 70s, maybe? Maybe the 80s? I don't know. I'm not going to bother looking it up. All I know is that this toy is from 1993, and the Sentai that it was pulled from predates that by a fair bit. So, yeah, the lack of a head movement, it is what it is. You do, however, get arm movement, so you can rotate the arms all the way around. You don't get any biceps, you don't get any elbows moving the regular way, but you can bend in if you want, and you can move the wrist in if you want. Aside from that, the legs can go forward if you wanted to do that. It doesn't really accomplish anything because they can't go backwards, they can't go out. You don't get thigh swivel, so you can just have them step forward or like sort of walk, but it doesn't, like, it's not going to balance like that. And the feet, you can click the Triceratops head and the saber-toothed tiger heads down, but again, it's not really going to accomplish anything. If you really want, you can push this button to angle the this joint forward for the tank mode, but again, that doesn't really accomplish anything. So yeah, it's pretty much just the arms that you're going to get any use out of. And that's it. But we can take the Mastodon head and put that in the hand to use as a shield, because of course, got to do that. And you also have the, I think this was the power sword, and you know, this one's a little bit worn, because again, secondhand, 30 years old. Like, you can see the chrome kind of wearing off around the handle. The chrome is a little scuffed and scratched up at the tip here, but it's fine. Pardon. It's the right shape, nice and shiny. It would be cool if they had some kind of color separation going on in this section here, but, you know, this, again, it's a 30-year-old toy, it's fine. And that just goes in the hand, and there we've got our Dino Megazord fully armed up and looking awesome. No, this thing, it's very simple, but I have so many fond memories of playing with mine back in the 90s, and really it's just really nice to have it back. I am wondering, now that I'm looking at this though, if that Triceratops gun is facing the wrong way. I wonder. Pull that out and pop that in. This is supposed to go this way. No, maybe not. Doesn't seem to want to swing around. No, okay. It was right the first time. We'll put it back. This seems like these ends should be the front, you know? Oh well. Yeah, I love this thing. It is a classic toy. One that I owned as a kid, so of course I've got that added level of nostalgia. And it's still just, it's solid, and it's a solid toy even just on its own merits. Nostalgia or no, it is still fun to mess with. As goofy as the tank mode is, and as much as I tended to only do it because I felt obligated to, because it was part of the show's transformation sequence or combination sequence, I really have more appreciation for it now. And I very much enjoy having this back in my collection. Now, in terms of size, it's it's a Megazord, so it's big. Why am I coughing so much? Here we've got our Voyager, our Large Deluxe, our Amiibo, and our regular Deluxe. So you can see how gigantic the original 93 Dino Megazord is in comparison to modern Transformers toys. Modern Deluxe and Voyager Transformers toys, anyway. Obviously, the size is going to change if we move up to like Commander class and whatnot. Then we can bring back, once again, my favorite of the Megazords that I've ever owned. Let me Titan Megazord or Magiking, and this is it's definitely smaller. I feel like this guy is more in line with what the average Sentai toy size-wise became after a while, which is fine. But I just, as much affection and nostalgia as I have for this, it just can't top this guy. He's so cool. I love the transformation and combination sequence on the Titan Megazord / Magiking. It is so good. So good. Always going to be a favorite. And finally, we've got to do, of course, that most important of size comparisons. Here we are with the Duck Tank. And that is going to be that for the original 1993 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Dino Megazord. And this is, this has been a long time coming, and at the same time, not so much. But again, I have so much affection for this thing. It's really fun to mess with. I still think, as I said, probably the best in terms of combination engineering of any other version that came out. And I mean any other version. Legacy, whenever they did that like kind of 2000s reissue that was basically like the Legacy Salt Jigoken. I know that's sacrilege to some people, but I'm not afraid to touch this. Better than Zap Megazord. Nothing has really topped this. Again, in terms of combination and transformation engineering. Obviously, plenty of other toys have topped this in terms of articulation and proportions and detailing and play features and articulation for the individual Zord modes and all of that. But this one is pretty timeless, at least to me. But that's enough about what I think of this glorious monstrosity. What do you all think of the 93 or any of the other iterations of the Dino Megazord? Or Daijujin? They're practically the same thing, right? Whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. Thank you everybody for watching, and once again, no idea what the next video is going to be, but it's probably going to be something that I've owned for a while.